Welcome to your tour of Navigate 2 TestPrep, a dynamic online assessment tool that prepares students for certification examinations by offering practice and simulated tests along with powerful data dashboards. In this video, we'll introduce you to the features and tools within Navigate 2 TestPrep and show you how to use the TestPrep dashboard, create and take a practice test, and how to take an assessment test and review your results. Navigate 2 practice tests offer an opportunity to practice questions that closely mimic the content and format you'll see in an actual certification exam. You can take an unlimited number of practice tests and view the same test questions multiple times. To create a practice test, you simply select questions in the subject areas where you feel you need the most work, and then generate the exam. It's as simple as that. When you take a practice test, you can take notes, time yourself, highlight important information, and flag questions for later review. You can also specify your confidence level for each question to help you determine where you need to spend more time and where your understanding is strong. You can also take simulated assessment tests designed to match the experience you'll have when taking the actual exam. And at any time, you can check your progress by reviewing your results in table or graph form. If you answered any questions incorrectly, TestPrep provides you not only with the correct answer, but with an explanation as to why that answer is correct. Once you've used TestPrep, you can take your certification exam with confidence. Now, let's review the dashboard. When you first log in to Navigate 2 TestPrep, you'll see the dashboard, a convenient place for creating and reviewing your tests, and reviewing your past performance. The Review My Performance section gives you a quick snapshot of your work to date. Under Completed, you can see the number of assessment and practice tests you've taken, and the number of questions you've been tested on. You can also see how you did on your last test, which displays data about the number of questions you answered correctly, and the number of questions you answered incorrectly. The Question Bank area shows you how many questions are available in your TestPrep product, how many questions you have seen, and how many questions you have not yet seen. You can use the buttons on the dashboard to create and review practice and assessment tests. As you can see, TestPrep's simple interface lets you tackle complex material with ease. To create a practice test, first, click the Create New Practice Test button on the dashboard. On the Create New Practice Test screen, you can specify a number of options, including whether you want the timer on or off, and whether or not you want to use the confidence meter. You can also choose specific subject areas and specify how many questions you want to see from each subject. As you add questions to the practice test, TestPrep keeps a running tally of the number of questions on the practice test. If you've already taken a practice test, you can choose whether or not to include questions you've previously answered incorrectly. Once you've finished selecting subject areas and specifying question totals, simply click the Create Test button to start the test. TestPrep displays the first question on the practice test. As you take the test, plenty of tools are available to help you. For example, if a question involves a calculation, you can use the calculator. To minimize the calculator, click the Minimize button. To maximize it, click the Maximize button. To close the calculator, click the Close button. You can also take notes about the current question and then save it so that you can return to it before submitting the practice test and deciding on your final answer. When a question has a note attached, a pencil icon appears to its right on the navigation bar. If highlighting information helps you decide on an answer, you can use the highlighting tools. You can also strike out answers you believe are incorrect in order to narrow your choices. If you're unsure of an answer and want to return to a question later in the test, you can flag it by clicking the Flag Question button. When a question is flagged, a flag icon appears to its right on the navigation bar so that you can easily return to the question later. Before or after you answer a question, you can indicate your confidence level using the confidence meter. A confidence of 1 indicates that you are not at all confident of your answer. A confidence of 5 indicates that you are sure that your answer is correct. Once you've decided on an answer, click it on the screen. If you answered correctly, TestPrep highlights the answer in green. If you answered a question incorrectly, TestPrep highlights the incorrect answer in red, highlights the correct answer in green, and provides feedback at the bottom of the screen. Once you've answered a question, you can click Next to move to the next question, or click a question number in the navigation bar. Before you submit a test, you can go back to questions you haven't yet answered by clicking the flagged and skipped questions in the navigation bar. Finally, you can submit your test by tapping or clicking the Submit button and then confirming your submission. That's it. You've taken your first practice test and are one step closer to passing your exam. After you've taken a practice test, you can either return to the dashboard or immediately view your results. To review your test, click Review My Practice Test. TestPrep displays your results in graph form at the top of the screen. The bar chart on the left shows the percentage of correct answers for all the practice tests you've taken. The pie chart on the right shows the percentages of questions answered correctly, incorrectly, and skipped on the currently selected test. If you've taken more than one test, click its bar on the chart to display a pie chart of those results. At the bottom of the screen, TestPrep displays a list of tests you've taken with information about your score and the average time you took to answer each question. Click a test name to see even more detailed results for the selected test. Questions, called items in TestPrep, are marked as correct, incorrect, skipped, or not seen. Skipped or not seen questions are marked as incorrect when TestPrep calculates your percentage correct. If you want to export your test report, click the Export button to download your results to an XLS file, which you can then open in Microsoft Excel or some other spreadsheet program. To review a test question, you can click its link under Item to view it in the TestPrep test-taking environment. On the question screen, you can read the feedback for the question and see what you chose on the confidence meter when you answered the question. If you've skipped any questions, you will not be able to link to the question screen to see the correct answer. This feature ensures that unseen questions will be available for use in future tests. If you are enrolled in a class, you can see what percentage of your peers answered a particular question correctly by pointing to the question. To return to the report, click Back to Report. Finally, you can see a breakdown of how you perform by subject. To do so, scroll to the bottom of the report to see the Proficiency by Subject table. To return to the dashboard, scroll to the top of the screen and then tap or click Back. Now that we've covered practice tests, you'll find the assessment test interface very similar. However, you'll notice a few differences. Because an assessment test is intended to mimic the experience of taking an actual certification exam, you won't be able to choose subject areas or number of questions. Instead, TestPrep will generate an assessment consisting of randomly chosen questions across all subject areas. And, unlike practice test mode, you will not receive any feedback until after you finish the exam. To take an assessment test, click the Complete Assessment Test button on the dashboard. Answer questions and navigate the assessment using the same navigation tools you used during the practice test, including the Next and Previous buttons and the question numbers on the navigation bar. You can change your response to a question at any time during an assessment test by clicking a different answer. Questions that have not been answered are white on the navigation bar, and questions that have been answered are shaded. If you're unsure of an answer, you can skip the question and flag it so that it's easy to return later. To return to a flagged question, simply click its number on the navigation bar. To unflag a question, click the Unflag Question button and then continue to the next question you want to view. If you want more space on the screen during an assessment, click Hide this menu. To redisplay, click Show this menu. Like real certification tests, your Navigate to TestPrep assessment test is also timed. You can use the pause button to stop a question timer, but the test timer will continue to run. When you do pause an assessment test, you can choose to resume the test or to submit it. If you submit a test without answering all of the questions, those questions will be marked as incorrect. When you finish the assessment, click Submit and then click Yes to confirm the submission. If you change your mind after clicking Submit, you can also click No to return to the test and answer questions you have skipped, or to change an answer. That's all there is to it. You can review your results to see where you need more practice and then go into the actual certification test knowing that you're well prepared. After you've submitted an assessment test, you can view your results immediately by clicking Review My Assessment Test from the Congratulations screen. TestPrep displays a list of the assessment tests with the test results displayed as charts. The chart on the left is a bar chart showing your percentage results for all tests you've taken. The chart on the right is a pie chart showing what percentage of questions you answered correctly, incorrectly, or skipped. If you want to see a pie chart of results for an earlier assessment, hover over that test bar with the mouse pointer and the pie chart will change. You can also see detailed test results by clicking the test name in the table below the charts. In TestPrep, questions are called items. Green check marks appear next to items you answered correctly. Red X's appear next to items you answered incorrectly. You can also see if you skipped an item after looking at it, or skipped it without looking at it. When TestPrep calculates your score in the test, skipped and unseen items are both counted as incorrect answers, just as they would be in a real test environment. If you're using TestPrep in a course with other students, you can also see statistics for the percentage of students who have viewed an item and answered it correctly. This is a quick and easy way to see where you stand in your class. To review an item you answered incorrectly, click its link under the item heading. TestPrep highlights your incorrect response in red and the correct response in green. You can read the feedback section for an explanation of why an answer is correct. Thanks for spending a few minutes to learn how Navigate to TestPrep will help you prepare for actual certification examinations with practice examinations, simulated assessments, and powerful reporting insights.